Yeah, I mean, Chris is a stud. I mean, we saw it obviously at the end of last year, how well he played. And, the whole country kind of saw it on that Chargers Thursday night with that interception. So, yeah, we have full faith in Chris. He practices, as well as anyone I've seen. So for a young guy, it's really impressive. And, yeah, like I said earlier, it's a really good group. So, and VJ, he does such a great job of putting us in great positions. So, um, we'll just play it by ear.
Welcome to DMac SMaK for October 28, 2025, and we start with the news that Pat Surtain will be missing for the next few weeks. Jordan Schultz put that out there, and it's not great news. It's what we were all fearing that might happen, and it has, apparently, and we'll get to know the more certainty of the situation. It appears to be a pec injury, which is obviously connected to the shoulder. And it happened in a very innocuous sort of moment, 22 seconds before halftime, just trying to take down a receiver with a ball. I mean, it didn't really stand out. I went back to watch it, and you could see that Pat was grabbing at it. And then the half went to halftime relatively quickly after that. And then he didn't play. That's Zach Allen talking about Chris Abrams' drain, and a combination of him and Jahdae Barron will have to carry the load for the Broncos, and perhaps this does make a difference at the trade deadline. But we start, unfortunately, with bad news that Surtain will be missing for the next few weeks. That is a bummer, big time. How will they adjust? It's DMac SMaK, which is brought to you by Journey Spice. Just go to this QR code, takes you to Amazon.com, and you can save 10% using the code Get Spicy. We got some newfangled machinery there for Journey Spice in terms of their packaging, so Rosa doesn't collapse putting all those Journey Spice boxes together. But whether it's breakfast or lunch or dinner, it doesn't matter. Journey Spice tastes better. Use Journey Spice and use the code Get Spicy to save yourself 10% at Amazon.com. More on Journey Spice in a little bit because we do love Journey Spice. So without Pat Surtain, now what? Tricky. And we're just finding out this information. Sean Payton will talk tomorrow. So we didn't get a lot of direct reaction on the conference call. We got a lot of other things from the conference call yesterday, including the keys to actually beating the Cowboys as soundly as they did.
We were getting first downs offensively on first or second down. In that league, you're punting on third down. So that was important. I think defensively, I said this, it was a big test based on the skill and the different weapons Dallas has. And I think we did enough to make the quarterback feel a little uncomfortable in the pocket. There's two ways you disrupt a passing game. It's either at the line of scrimmage with the receivers in the coverage you're playing or with the pass rush. And I thought we did a really good job of mixing up looks. I thought Vance and his staff did a really good job of giving him a certain look one play and then another look the next play. And that made a big difference, I think, in their efficiency.
Yeah, that's a key to it, how efficient they were, how effective they were. Really, really great game planning, great play calling, great execution, just top to bottom. And as Sean Payton was undefeated in the month of October. So his record in October is, it's spectacular. And I think it's about learning who you have and making sure you're calling a game to suit your players.
Yeah, look, we've talked about this subject a bunch. I think quite a bit. Absolutely, you move in a direction that suits your players. So I think that's just good coaching and being smart. So trying to find things they're comfortable with. Over the years, we've seen that take place even at other positions, but particularly at quarterback. So to answer your question, yes, quite a bit.
Meanwhile, this team is going to have to depend on young players, and it was great to see Pat Bryant and Jahdae Barron get a pick and R.J. Harvey have 3 touchdowns. So, yeah, the young players were incredibly important.
The transition period, you don't have 2 or 3 years to wait for their progress, and it was a game where we saw a lot of young players step up and make plays, and I think we got to continue to play them. And that whole thing about confidence. When a guy has a play or has a game, and he's young in our league and has success, then you can kind of see it propel him very quickly. So, but I do think it's important that the contributions are coming not just from the veteran players, but also the young players that we feel like are ready to play.
So everything kind of rolling along nicely. To clean up some other questions that weren't answered, I loved it. I loved the fact that they won the toss. They elected to start with the ball. They knew if the Cowboys won, they would defer anyway. So one thing that they did know is how the game was going to start.
Look, a real good offense we're playing. I wanted it to be a little bit of a message to our offense relative to starting fast and to our team. And so the night before in the meetings, when you know that Dallas has deferred X amount of times, and then if we're going to take the ball, you can kind of tell your players, look, this is how the game is going to start. We're going to be on kick return. And so it's one of those times where I felt that it was important.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I recommended it. I was made fun of by my guy, Tyler Columbus, who said that was the worst take ever. And I thought it was effective. Even though the Broncos turned the ball over, I still think it was effective because it sent the right message. So I don't care about the whole, like, you score before halftime, you come out in the second half. I just think that is so absurdly overrated. I don't feel strongly enough to, scream it from the highest rooftop because, I can see the argument for the other way. But I just always think it's an advantage to play with the lead. And the most assured way to play with the lead is to get the ball. So to me, I'm a fan of it. What can I tell you? Meanwhile, there was great debate about why Sean Payton was not in throwback gear. So I threw the question out to him to answer the reasoning. And it's an interesting reason. And it was noted by quite a few people you didn't wear throwback gear. I was wondering if you had an explanation.
Let's start with your second question.
Okay.
I'm like everyone. I grew up on the throwback uniforms. I love the throwback uniforms. So when I got to work, I usually get to the stadium super early, and I said, Flip, the navy blue pants don't match the throwback. We need either an orange or that Bronco blue, that old blue as a pant. And so I struggled with the navy and then the throwback on the top. So I just kind of went tradish, but make no mistake about it, I'm probably the biggest fan of the throwback sweats, colors, and I listen. I wanted desperately to wear it. I just hate the match with the navy bottom. So we need to work on getting a lighter blue slack, or even I'd sport an orange slack if it was the right color.
Okay. He says he would wear the orange slack. They're going to wear the throwbacks 2 more times. I challenge Flip and the rest of the Broncos. Next time out there, orange slacks for everybody. It does go to show the attention to detail that Sean Payton has. And on one hand, I think it could drive you nuts because if he's that fastidious about an issue like navy pants with a light blue hoodie, what in the world is he like with things that actually matter? And sometimes it's a great thing, and sometimes it probably drives you batshit crazy. But he's an excellent coach, and he has a philosophical approach to the games that is very effective. And the Broncos, to me, are ahead of where I thought they'd be this year. I thought this form of the Broncos would exist next year. And maybe it's a championship run this year. Who knows? But it's 6-2 and a boring win by the Chiefs last night. That's not much of a fight given up by the Commanders. I'm not really afraid of the Broncos playing the Commanders now. Holy cow. Not freaked out by that at all. So the Chiefs are on your heels. And so your games are Texans, short week Thursday, but it's against the Raiders. Get a mini bye week before you face the Chiefs at Empower Field. So, yes, you're on the road this week, but the next 2 games after that are at home, meaning 4 of your last 5 games are at home. Take advantage of it. Alex Palczewski is doing a serviceable job, maybe even better at left guard. It was good to catch up with him and find out how he's been playing.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough task, but again, like Coach Streif and Chris Morgan have done a phenomenal job of just getting me ready physically, but also just mentally, just kind of helping me simple the game a little bit more in my mind, just to kind of go back to my coaching points. And it's kind of knowing that, listen, it's an imperfect game, but knowing you can have the full focus every single play. And it's also just, it's phenomenal to have the guys I have around me. You know, like Luke Wanberg is an unbelievable resource for me. Anytime I can pick his brain, he's always helping me out, helping me anything I have or need. He'll help me out with that. Garrett Bowles has done also an unbelievable job. You know, he's always there protecting me. Whatever I need, he's there to help me keep moving along. And just the rest of the offense, honestly. Quinn and Mike, I've obviously backed them up for a few years now. And so anytime I have any type of question or something, they'll always give me great advice that I know will work very well.
Well, so far, so good. And you do get into considerations of what you do at the trade deadline. Is it a tight end? Because Atkins is going to be out with a knee injury and Kroll will be out with surgery. Is it a corner or depth at corner? Is it left guard, or do you feel good enough about what's going on there? These are all the decisions that George Payton and Sean Payton and crew have to figure out here in the next few days. Trade deadline is just, I think, a week and a half away, so it's coming up. Meanwhile, one of the reasons the Broncos have improved quickly, it seems, is their practice now like they're playing.
I mean, like, kind of the big thing that I would point to is just the way we practice. I mean, like, outside looking at it, just looks like all that matters is Sunday, but there's so much that goes into the game plan throughout the week, and there's so much time and effort being put in, and it's kind of just how you practice. You know, like, there's so much effort being put in, but just like making these practices as similar to game day as possible. While that's physically, that's also just as important mentally. Just putting yourself in those positions where you know you like try to simulate it, if that makes sense. You know, like, and so that's the kind of the biggest thing that's been really helping us is just on these Wednesday, Thursday, Friday practices, just locking in and kind of visualizing yourself like it's Sunday, 2:00, you're at Mile High, first snap, and you're ready to go, and just kind of mentally preparing yourself that way.
Do love the process. I'm not going to lie. Process of I'll speak Canadian to find out that, yeah, there's tweaks that we can make and interesting to see how even guys on this level enjoy the competition and how that does iron sharpen iron. Here's Zach Allen on the team and how they're getting along these days.
Yeah, I think, like you said, I mean, for there to be a sack, I mean, there's so many different things that have to go into it. You know, all 4 guys have to, kind of keep them in the pocket. The coverage has to work. Hope they're running longer routes. So, I mean, give them a lot of credit. Dak, I think going into the game, we knew he was hard to sack because, he's really smart. And their offensive line, I mean, they've invested a lot in it. It's a really good group. So, we were definitely happy with the pressure we got. Obviously, we want higher sack numbers, but, kind of as we've shown, like, we'll get it all worked out. So we're not worried about getting pressure.
No, they did a good job against the Cowboys, even 2 sacks, and the pressure they put on Dak Prescott, forced turnovers. That's the most important thing. So it wasn't gaudy in terms of the numbers, but the Cowboys next to the Broncos were protecting the quarterback better than anybody in the league. It was effective. Definitely effective. Zach Allen on the pass rush.
I don't know. I mean, I think, he's awesome at really kind of, having a feel of, what the guys need, whether it's, they need a, hey, we got to back off of them. They're tired, or, we got to get them going. Let's, get on top of them. Let's practice hard, coach them hard. So, he's been awesome, all 3 years at really, getting us prepared for games. And every single week, we feel like we go in really well prepared, both, obviously mentally but especially physically. So, we're really appreciative of that.
big news is Pat Surtain and what happens next. We'll have the latest for you as it goes. Broncos off today. Back to work tomorrow to prepare for the Texans. And tomorrow, we'll give you the Texans by the numbers to see what you can expect. We've got a great win for the Nuggets. Jamal Murray goes off. Maybe the greatest World Series game ever. And Shedeur Sanders getting himself in a little bit of trouble on social media. We'll be back with all of that.
There's a world of flavor out there, and to find it, you have to take the journey. Journey Spice Company handcrafts the most premium spice and seasoning blends that have no sugar, no salt, are certified USDA organic, non-GMO, vegan-friendly, and always planet-friendly. You are going to love serving amazingly delicious creations while knowing you helped reduce single-use plastics. Make sure to search for Journey Spice Company on Amazon today.
Use the code GETSPICY and save yourself 10% on Journey Spice. Journey Spice is the best. Let's go inside the Nuggets locker room as David Adelman was proud of his team for making a nice little comeback and winning.
Two things that stood out, 45-point third quarter offensively. Fourth quarter, they shot 24%, only 20 points. That's the anatomy of a comeback win on the road. Great offense, but that complemented by great defense. Again, I'm going to say this one more time. Different lineup finish tonight. Great job by that lineup. Different people every night to win games, man. That's all that matters, okay? Come on, bring it in. Let's go. Hey, real quick. Jamal Murray, hell of a game.
Nuggets on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, crazy third quarter, 45 points. Jamal Murray, 43 points on the entire game. They win 127-114. Joker with a triple-double. He joins Russell Westbrook and Oscar Robertson for starting a season with 3 straight games with a triple-double. He's fantastic. We'll have him with Melo here in a second. But more from Adelman about the game.
It's like the way we're playing. And I think that stuff will take care of itself, the record, if we just are consistent with our approach. I think wins follow that. If you're up and down emotionally, I think that shows in the wins and loss column. Right now, I like where we're at mentally.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. They face New Orleans tomorrow night at Ball Arena, and we'll see skinny Zion and see what they're all about. But this is going to be an impressive season for the Nuggets. Ain't no doubt about it. And Cam Johnson wasn't really feeling it, but you're backed up by Bruce Brown and Tim Hardaway Jr. and Jonas Valanciunas, although he didn't play a ton last night, was very effective when he did go. And Jamal Murray, what a start by Jamal Murray. I mean, absolutely outstanding. Katie Wingy caught up with him after the game.
I just thought we played aggressive on defense. That was the biggest thing. I don't even think we played, to our potential. So there's a lot of room for improvement. I just think we just picked up our intensity, didn't turn the ball over late. But like I said, a lot of things that we can work on for the next time.
What kind of reads were you making that allowed you to have the game that you had?
Well, I mean, it was just there. I wasn't forcing it. Everybody played great. I just made shots. But everybody was in the right spot and setting good screens, and everybody was into the game in the second half especially, so that makes my job easy.
How slow is the game for you right now when you're out there? Does that make it easier to make decisions?
Very.
Okay, Jamal being a funny guy. I thought that was funny. Okay, hey, man, I love it. I absolutely love Jamal having a nice sense of humor, being relaxed, getting a nice win in Minnesota, which has been a horrible location. I don't care that Anthony Edwards wasn't there. I don't care if we ever see Anthony Edwards again. I've seen Anthony Edwards plenty. So nice job by the Nuggets. And finally, the game was on Peacock, and I don't know how that impacts you. I prefer the games on altitude. What can I tell you? But with this new deal, NBC has the rights, and we hear Round Ball Rock a lot more. But we also see a new post-game show. This with Maria Taylor, with Vince Carter, with, I'm forgetting somebody, Tracy McGrady, and Carmelo Anthony. So at one point they had Joker on, and Vince Carter wore 15. Carmelo wore 15, obviously. And, of course, Joker does wear 15. So they were joking about the number 15. It would have been funny if Carmelo said something to Joker directly about it. But just the interaction between Carmelo and Joker is just a little surreal.
Joker, Melo here.
Listen, what's up, baby? You make the game seem or look so effortless. What is it that you guys are doing together as a team right now, early on in this season, offensively? Because you guys are clicking on the offensive end.
Yeah, I think we have a different option, different like I said, different lineups. We respect each other. Let's say personnel. We respect each other's space, and if somebody has going, we give him the ball. And we have so many movements, and so many different actions. All the splits, all the pick and rolls, all the posts. I think we have so many offensive weapons, let's say like that, and we are using all of them right now. Just trying to get used to play with each other.
I think what is important to realize is that, yeah, the team might start the same way, but who knows how the team's actually going to finish? And nobody's promised that, nor do I think anybody would be overly insulted by it. I think it was a little trickier when Michael Porter Jr. was here, but that's not the case. So they finish with Tim Hardaway Jr. and Peyton Watson on the court, not Christian Brown, not Cam Johnson. But it's not like those two aren't great players too. Listen, there's so many different options for David Adelman. 2-1 Nuggets, great start. We'll see what they do against New Orleans. Again, we're brought to you by Journey Spice. Save 10% using the code GETSPICY at Amazon.com. Last night in baseball, and we'll get to Shedeur Sanders and what he's got going on in social media, but baseball was incredible. And yes, I did stay up for the entire game. I was transfixed. I couldn't take my eyes off of it. There were so many incredible moments. First of all, 18 innings, 10 runs. The final was 6-5 as Freddie Freeman hit the walk-off. But Will Klein had never pitched 4 innings in a row since college and went 4 scoreless innings as a reliever for the Dodgers. Yamamoto was warming up, who just pitched a couple of days ago. Shane Bieber was warming up for the Blue Jays, who's starting tonight. Shohei Ohtani was 4 for 4 with 5 walks. He had 2 solo home runs and 2 RBI or 2 doubles, 3 RBI on the night. He was intentionally walked 4 times and then, kind of intentionally walked a 5th time, 5 straight walks in extra innings. It was amazing. Incredible. He's ties a record of reaching base 9 times in one game. 10 scoreless innings until Freddie Freeman's walk-off. There was so much drama in this game. Incredible defensive plays. Guys getting thrown out at home. Guys getting thrown out at third base. It was amazing. 6 hours and 39 minutes, and the crowd was standing on their feet for most of it. This did happen kind of a few years ago when Mac Muncy hit a walk-off in the 18th. So to think that Dave Roberts has actually managed 2 teams that have gone 18 innings is incredible. But for Freddie Freeman in particular, who's such a clutch player, 2 walk-off homers in World Series games in back-to-back years. Just amazing. It's a shot from the crowd. Dead center. Just over the fence. Look at this. 6 hours and 39 minutes. Nobody's left this game. And it's not like I'm super pulling for the Dodgers. Had the Blue Jays won this, I'd have been excited for that too. But it's just ridiculous, this game. If you want to be romantic about baseball and you want to advocate for not having a runner on second base to start extra innings, okay, but most people didn't see this game. What a moment, man. As the Dodgers take a 2-1 lead. There's the Japanese players and the interpreters all jumping up and down. Outstanding game. Yeah, but that is the only problem. Most of America did not see it. So take that for its worth. I guarantee you when I go into work today that Tyler and Scott were not up for the end of that game. I know listening to the morning guys because they got to get up so early. They weren't up for the game. Your boy was because I love baseball and I love moments like that, and that was incredible. All right, your moment of zen may come with another social media mishap from Shedeur Sanders. There's a muggle in Cleveland. His name is Brad Stainbrook. And he wrote an Instagram post about he's calling for the Browns to start Shedeur Sanders after their bye week, which is in a couple of weeks, and kind of ripped on Dylan Gabriel and blah, 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 blah. Well, Shedeur Sanders liked the post, and Steinbeck pointed it out. Quarterback Shedeur Sanders liked my Instagram post where I called for the team to start the former Colorado quarterback the following bye week. Shedeur, stop. Just chill, dude. You don't need to do that. We all want to see you play. We're done with the Dylan Gabriel 1-3. I mean, we're kind of seeing where that's going. So, yes, we want Shedeur Sanders to play, but, dude, you just got to chill. Just relax a little bit. You'll get your opportunities. The Browns aren't going anywhere. Shedeur Sanders will be starting probably after their bye week, I guess, unless they just can't stand him because he annoys them, and doing stuff like this makes you annoying. When it comes to annoying, who would know better than me?
There was no foul on the play. It was not a hold. The defender was just overpowered.
The defender was overpowered so much it looked like a hold.